Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the OG channel. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys a little recap of 2021 and an update of how we basically got to this point, what I have going on these days, so on and so forth. So to jump into it right now, I'm spending the majority of my time playing Axie Infinity. Axie Infinity is a game that founded the play-to-earn mechanics. Basically, you can play the game and you can earn cryptocurrency. The cryptocurrencies that the game operates with, SLP, AXS, and soon to be the RON token. You can obviously trade all these cryptocurrencies on regular exchanges, swap them out for US, Canadian, whatever you're trying to find. So that's where I've been spending the majority of my time. Through that, I've actually started my own scholarship program. Currently have 17 of my own OG scholars. So what that means is that there are 17 people that are currently playing Axie Infinity using my digital assets to play the game, which is super exciting because I'm obviously able to help all these people, and we split all of the earnings that are created from their accounts. So think of it as you know, I have 17 team members that are helping me to farm these cryptocurrencies in this game, which is Axie Infinity. So that's where the majority of my time and effort is going right now. But I want to take a second to look back at everything that was done over the past year, because there was a ton of hard work by a lot of people. So I want to take a minute to just appreciate some of those efforts and kind of reminisce on some of the times that we had and the progress, and to get to this point without trying to say it in too many words. So to get started, we go back about a year. Brings me to when I was an admin of the X6 Hockey League, and that was my third experience running an online community. And obviously the initial founder of that league, obviously his real life got super busy. He wasn't able to run the NHL, the online NHL community anymore. So I made the decision, once I became the main admin in that league, to transition everything over to OG and operate everything under the OG brand, just so that everything was fully owned and operated by myself. From that stage, we continued to recruit, we continued to grow. Our goal was to be the best banana hockey league that you could find. We did okay at that goal. I feel like, in my opinion, that it never really made it as far as I wanted it to go. Yeah, there's a couple reasons why it ended up like that, but the main thing, I think, came to, there wasn't really any revenue generating activity that was coming out of the NHL league. And as someone who has graduated with a business degree, sinking in hours and hours and hours of my time and getting zero return on my investment of my time, it just didn't make sense to continue to put as much time and effort into that as I was, right? And if anyone remembers going back, January 2021, February, March, April, I think I was putting in 10-hour days into Chell League, and that was on top of working a regular 9 to 5. So it just wasn't sustainable, really. It really wasn't. But I do want to take a minute to acknowledge a bunch of people that put in a ton of effort along the way. So I'm going to start right from the beginning. I'm going to start with Dr. Wally. The man helped to write the rulebook. He helped to build the structure of OG. He was the main person that I discussed everything with along the way. All the decision making, all of the big structural components. So shout out to Wally, fantastic guy. He's over in CNC now, so if anybody's still looking to chell with Wally, CNC is where he's at, and that brings me to a couple other people that deserve some shout outs as well that are also over there. I'll start with Amanda, Devlin her eyes, put in so much hard work for OG, and really just is looking to just improve the NHL community, just looking to dedicate her time to just, making sure everything runs smoothly, making sure people are happy, making sure things run how they're supposed to run. So shout out to Amanda. I want to shout out Preds as well, Preds Nation, because without Preds Nation I would have never became a NHL admin. And if I never became an NHL admin, who knows, maybe OG would have never would have been a thing. So shout out to Preds as well. I want to shout out GMAC. GMAC put in a ton of effort for OG in the early days as well. Shout out to Dream. Dream, same thing, just so much hard work and effort. Silent Trauma, ton of work as well. Medaya did a bunch of work before we'll just sum it up to we had a disagreement, and it is what it is. But Medaya, shout out to him as well. Ton of effort. Which brings us to where the NHL community is today. The NHL community currently, there's no formal league being run by OG. We still have the Seeking Games chat. I laid the groundwork for the pond hockey so that anytime there's a Wednesday or a Thursday where it's like, hey, we need to play some chell. It seems like there hasn't been a lot of chell lately. We can, drop in, play some pond hockey games, which is basically just like drop in, organized drop in, I guess. We could all just go do drop in, but it's more organized with people that we know from the community. So it's a little bit more fun. That's obviously something that we still have going on. I have the hockey podcast that I discuss with Hard Knock. We try to talk, every couple of weeks, 2 weeks or so. But obviously with COVID completely derailing the World Junior Tournament and also the NHL season, it's been really hard to not find the time, but just find really good topics to talk about, because it kind of feels like there's like a black cloud following the hockey community right now, and that black cloud isn't only following the hockey community, it's just that black cloud is COVID, and it's affecting a lot of people right now. So that being said, hopefully, when I make this video a year from now and do my 2022 year in review, hopefully COVID is an afterthought by then, but only time will tell. Only time will tell. So if there's anybody else on the hockey side that I missed, I really do want to apologize. I just want to say thank you to everybody on the NHL side. So many good times. We got into our third season, so we ran, I finished off managing the X6 season, and then we ran OG season 1 with 60 some odd teams. We had two-tier league. We ran NHL, and we chose to do ECHL as the secondary tier. Almost 1,000 registrants just on the Chell side, which is absolutely crazy growth. In the second season, we had, I think it was around 40-ish teams. And then in the third season, we had we were a bit short of a full NHL, but basically 3 seasons of hockey, 4 sets of playoffs, I think, a couple World Junior tournaments in there. So yeah, thank you to everybody for that. That was just a blast. I mentioned it in the Discord the other day, but that opportunity to just manage an online community of 1,000 plus members, and have to interact with everyone, try to help everyone on a regular basis, that helped me grow a ton as a person, and I just really do appreciate it, and just wanted to share my gratitude with everybody. So thank you again to the Chell community, which brings me over to Axie and where we're at now. With the Axie community, I would say it probably accounts for half of the OG Discord. It probably accounts for 80% of our YouTube subscriptions. Decent amount of our following or my following on Instagram and Twitter has come from Axie these days. And I feel like play to earn, which includes Axie Infinity, is really the future of gaming, because for me as a gamer, like I've played games since I was 4 or 5 years old, all types of games, shooter games, sports games, your traditional Mario, whatever, your racing games, whatever you want to call it. But I found the play to earn mechanics, which basically means that I can play a game and they're going to pay me to play it. I really just, why would I bother to play a game that's not going to pay me anymore, right? Like, for the same amount of time, even if my enjoyment's a little bit less, right? Like, it depends, I guess, how highly you're valuing your time and your enjoyment level, right? But the way I viewed it is that, like, I could take a little bit, could get a little bit less enjoyment out of the game that I'm playing, because really I'm not choosing the game I want to play. I'm choosing from a category of games that can pay you, and then picking my favorite out of that category, which has been Axie Infinity. But basically just trying to say that once I found a game that's going to pay me to play it, I really lost the motivation to play a game that's not going to pay me, right? Because there's only so many hours a day. So if I have 2 to 3 hours to play some video games, would I prefer to play a game that's going to pay me 20, 30, 40 bucks? Or would I prefer to just play a game that I'm not going to actually gain anything from, right? So when you think of it like that, it's kind of a no-brainer decision of what to do. So that's why I've been spending so much time in Axie Infinity myself. And that being said, there's a ton more play-to-earn games that are being released. So I'm trying to do my best to stay on top of that market, and try to bring everyone in OG the latest play-to-earn information, so that you can make your own decisions, of what you want to do in with your time in the gaming space, right? Like, maybe you decide that it's not worth your time or your investment to play. By all means. Or maybe you watch this and you're like, you know what? Makes a good point. Like, I'm going to explore this a little bit further. Why would I traditionally play Call of Duty, where I'm going to go out, I'm going to, like, I don't know, maybe you're buying little skins, or you're buying the DLC for the map pack, or you're constantly giving and giving and paying into this and paying into this. And it's like, at some point, maybe you'll be like me and you'll take a step back and be like, hey, wait, I can do this, but you guys pay me instead? Like, okay, I'm going to follow that through. I'm going to kind of see where that leads to. And that was, for me, that was June of this year. That's when I started playing Axie. So to give you a little bit of my Axie timeline, I started playing it in June. I played by myself from June until September. In August 2021, I started streaming regularly on the YouTube channel. At that time, there was maybe 100, possibly 200 subscribers on the YouTube. And since then, I've just continued to grind at it, continued to work at it, continued to try to bring videos. Like, I've brought some breeding videos, I've brought some just like basic instructional videos, like what is Axie Infinity, talking about the market, talking about pros and cons, little tips that you can do. And I do hope to do a lot more of those in the future. But that's basically how it got started. Fast forward again to September. I believe September 21st, I hired my first 2 Axie Scholars, which are players that will play the game using your digital assets, as I mentioned previously. So the first 2 were hired at the end of September. And fast forward to the current date, which is January 5th. There's now 17 scholars that are playing on my team with my digital assets. There's also another manager. I guess you can almost say 2 managers that are also hanging out in the OG team, or kind of like in our OG guild group community, whatever you want to call it for Axie. So we do have a few managers in there, and we all just really collaborate. We share ideas, we share strategies, how to climb the leaderboard, what Axies we should give scholars, how to improve just on a regular basis, what you should do in this situation, how this card is going to affect this outcome of the game. Those are all kinds of things that we work on a regular basis, and hopefully we just continue to grow that. Obviously, I'm sure everyone that's involved with Axie has seen some of the other really popular guilds out there that are sharing builds and strategies and information and whatnot, and that's really the goal of OG at the moment, is to try to replicate, and kind of put our own spin on that type of an idea, right? So you guys have seen I've started to run Axie tournaments is something that we're doing a lot. We've done SLP giveaways a ton. And obviously we have the scholarship program, which is just continuing to grow and grow and grow. Also want to mention that we have quite a few very strong Axie players as well in the Discord now. So there's a group of, I think, between 5 and 10 that I would put into like high MMR players that could potentially make leaderboard one day. All on the OG team, and obviously, playing games against each other on a regular basis and continuing to share these strategies and ideas. It's just going to provide a ton of benefit for everybody, right? We're all going to continue to get that much better, and I'll be excited to see who's going to be the first OG on the Axie leaderboard, and will it be coming up here in season 20? I know personally I've had goals to make leaderboard since I started playing. When I started playing, season 17 was just about over, so I couldn't really do anything in that season. Season 18 was my first full season, and I did make it into the top 10K at one point, top 10,000 players. I was over 2,500 MMR, but I fell short of my goal. I didn't make it into the top 100 on the leaderboard. And then fast forward to this season, I think a lot of my focus was spent building my scholarship. Because season 18, I had 0 team members / scholars playing with me or on my team. And now fast forward to the end of season 19, I now have 17 team members and scholars playing with my digital assets. So I think a lot of my time and effort this season was directed towards building out that program. And now here we are in January. I'd say that program is pretty well established. Yes, I would like to add some more people. I would like to get into, the 20-25 team member range or scholars using my assets, and then from there I think the next goal is just to help everybody improve, help share knowledge, and help raise the collective level of everybody in the OG guild or the OG team, so that everybody is potential leaderboard threat. So that's kind of where we're at now. I did this unscripted, unedited, just kind of off the cuff. I've obviously thought about it for a few days, but if there's anything or anybody that I missed, I sincerely apologize. Definitely don't want to think that it was intentional by any means. Anything that was forgot or left out, that's just me being a little bit of a space cadet. But hey, it is what it is. We all have those moments sometimes, so thanks again for checking out the channel. Thanks again for the support. I definitely can feel all of that love and support that the OG community brings. So thank you guys for that, and I'm excited to see what 2022 brings. Let's go. Later, everybody. Peace.